It's here, right?
It's right here.
Okay, now we can start.
I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals, Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties at 7:03. Please call the roll.
Mike Weirden,
Here.
Linda Hansen, George Koziel,
Here.
Joe Bano,
Here.
Bob Bacaro,
Here.
Jennifer Rasmussen. We have a quorum.
Okay, you have before you the minutes for the April meeting, but since I was not there, we don't have a quorum.
The majority of the votes will go with, and your abstention will go with the majority. So,
Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Bob, seconded by George. Please call the roll.
George Koziel,
Yes.
Joe Bano,
Yes.
Bob Bacaro,
Yes.
Mike Weirden.
Abstain. Okay, you have before you the case number 19-07, Project Oak. Are the petitioners here?
they are.
Okay. They're not going to talk, though?
Are you going to speak?
If you're going to talk, we just need to have you stand by the microphone and raise your right hand.
I think you're going to, someone's going to say something, correct? Yeah. Okay, you need to just be sworn in. Come on up. I'll do the presentation for you.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give is only the whole truth?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Roberta. Oh, what's wrong with me? We have the mailings, the newspaper, and the picture of the sign.
We do.
Mark those exhibits A, B, and C. Now you may proceed.
I think in this instance, I'll just give a presentation
Okay?
for the petitioner. They are requesting a site plan review for a proposed 400,000 square foot building for Phase 1 with a 75,000 square foot future addition as part of Phase 2 on 26 acres in the Cook County portion of the Brewster Creek Business Park. A 17,000 square foot office space is identified at the northwest corner of the building, with the remaining 382,000 square feet designated for warehouse space. The proposed building would be constructed with insulated precast concrete panels with recessed precast accent panels. The color palette proposed will consist primarily of varying shades of white and gray with blue and orange color accents. Pre-finished metal canopies will be located over the entranceways and over the patio area. Here's another rendering. The overall proposed height of the building would be 44 feet, but to allow for some flexibility within the interior of the building, the petitioners are requesting a special use permit to increase the maximum height allowed for the building from 45 feet to 50 feet. Both the site plan and the special use request will be reviewed by the Plan Commission at their meeting next Thursday night on June 13th. The site plan identifies 62 exterior docks, 36 on the north side and 26 on the south side, with 2 drive-in doors. The I-2 EDA zoning district requires the docks on the north side of the building to be enclosed and recessed 15 feet from the front building elevation due to their location along a corner side yard, which in this case would be Jack Court. Let's see if I can go back to that. So the variation request is along this area. Here's Jack Court, and these are the loading docks facing that street. Landscaping, including evergreen trees, will be incorporated along the north property line, and the required parkway tree plantings along Jack Court will also provide screening of this loading area from the roadway. 3 curb cuts are proposed along Spitzer Road, which is the west property line, and 1 along the future Jack Court, the north property line. Passenger vehicles would utilize the 2 northern curb cuts to access the employee parking area, with the southernmost curb cut to be utilized as an entrance exit for trucks only. The curb cut on Jack Court is identified as an exit only for trucks. Each of the curb cuts for the truck entrance exits would be gated, with trucks equipped with an electronic system that would enable them access to these loading areas. The petitioner is requesting a variation to allow for a reduction in the required number of parking spaces on the property. The site plan currently identifies 272 parking spaces, and these include 11 handicap accessible spaces. The zoning ordinance requires 447 spaces for Phase 1, and if Phase 2 were built, a total of 522 parking spaces would be required. The plan, however, identifies 253 future land bank parking spaces, which would increase the total parking area provided on the site to 525, and if constructed, would satisfy the zoning ordinance requirement. So with the existing parking that they're proposing and the 253 future land bank parking stalls, they would meet the zoning ordinance requirement for parking. The site plan also identifies 30 truck trailer stalls located on the south side in this area for additional parking along the south property line adjacent to the Commonwealth Edison right-of-way. Landscaping is proposed adjacent to this parking area along the south property line. A 7-foot-high black vinyl-clad chain-link fence is proposed within the corner side yard along future Jack Court, which would secure the loading dock areas. This fence would exceed the 4-foot-high maximum permitted in a corner side yard, and as a result, the petitioner is requesting a variation to allow for this proposed fence height. The photometric and landscape plans are currently being reviewed by staff. The petitioners are here to answer any specific questions that you may have. And anything else?
At this point, there's nothing proposed on the north side of the proposed Jack Court, right?
That is correct.
So if we were to grant this unusually high fence, the person, whoever builds there would know it. Is this more a security type?
It is a security thing, and I can tell you that Rana currently has a 7-foot-high chain-link fence as well. Also with a gate, also secured. So it's this exact same thing. It's a totally security issue.
So you did say that Rana has a 7-foot-high
Yep.
chain link fence?
Yep, it sure does.
And this is not. This is a solid fence.
Nope, this is a 7-foot-high black vinyl-clad chain-link fence.
Oh, okay.
I like chain link anyway. I think they last longer. The wooden ones just start deteriorating too fast.
So besides on the fence on Jack Court, so then it goes all around the perimeter?
Yeah, so the fence, I know it's difficult to see on your plans because they're so small. So there's a fence here, and then, is it here, Jeff? Am I close? Okay. Down here. So this is secured, so vehicles entering Spitzer Road, coming into the site, turning right, would have to access this gated area that's fenced off completely, coming around, and this is a gated area as well.
So the fence would continue down
And
the
then
right-hand portion of the property?
fence is also here. This is secure too, so it's all along Jack Court, coming to the building here, there's a gate here, and it's all around the perimeter? Yes. Yeah, all the way around, coming around, and then here.
But the variance is only for the Jack Court because that's the side yard?
It's correct, it's fronting a street.
So there is a fence on the right-hand side to the right of that road.
But that's the Commonwealth Edison?
Commonwealth Edison is right here.
Okay.
Maybe I can show you a little bit, let me see. So here, this is the site. So here's Spitzer Road. Jack Court's going to be right here, and this is the Commonwealth Edison easement here.
And nothing is behind them, right?
Nothing at this time. Here's the large wetland is here. The fire station is located here.
Can you go back one slide, please?
Mm-hmm.
One more. That one.
Mm-hmm.
My question was, is the fence to the right of what appears to be a road along the right edge of the green area. Correct.
Yes,
So that fence is on the outside. So the road is inside the fence.
yes, yes.
Okay. Because I guess you did say that
The-
they have to come through the security gate.
Yes,
They can drive all the way around.
yes,
That's all secure area because it's
Yes.
behind the fence.
yes. All of this is completely secured, all through here, yes.
Okay.
When I was out there, and I thought it's going to be neat to see something along there. Glad to see Spitzer Road. The Commonwealth Edison right-of-way probably goes along what used to be Reese Road, connecting Spitzer and Munger.
Yes, Boyard, yes. Which was vacated, yes. More closely, I think, to Brewster Creek, where Brewster Creek Boulevard is, yes.
Yes.
That was a segment of Reese Road, yeah.
So initially, there will be 253 parking spots allocated to a land bank.
Yes, 272 are being provided on the site, and then 253 are to be land bank.
And whereabouts in that picture would that be?
Okay, it's hard for me to, there's some in this location to the south of the existing parking, and then, let me see. These are tiny plans. Are there some here? Yes. Okay. Yes, okay, right here. So here and down here.
And northwest too, there you go.
Yeah. All of this green area here and to the south is shown for land bank parking. It's very light on these plans.
I like to see the land banking idea. All too often, I think we build parking for the worst case and never get there. And here, you get some buffer zone of green, and it's there if you need it. If not, it's a benefit to have the green space. So I like that concept.
Yes.
I agree. Now, we had this one other time out there in Brewster Creek. If you could refresh my memory, the mechanism that would trigger that more parking is needed.
Typically, what would happen is that if we either get complaints or staff is out there and we see cars starting to park along, let's say, Jack Court or Spitzer Road, we would enforce that additional parking to be installed. And we are conditioning, as part of the approval of this petition, a land bank parking agreement that would get recorded.
Anything else before we open it up to the public? All right, at this time, we shall open it up to the public. Jumping audience out there. Anyone have any comments?
Anybody? Do you want to say, do you have anything else, maybe? That's it?
When do you plan to open doors?
The project is supposed to, they're going to start operating in January 1st of 2021, right? 2021. So it's a lengthy process. It's a very high-image company that's going to be coming in here. I'm not at liberty to say names right now under confidentiality, but it's a high-image company that's going to be very beneficial to the community.
And they're taking the entire building.
Yes. They're a national company.
Any further comments or motions?
I would make a motion to pass along a positive recommendation to the village board for item 1907, Project Oak.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion by George, a second by Bob. At this point, we shall close the public hearing. Any further discussion?
I have a problem with the land banking of so many parking spaces. I really don't like that.
Is there,
Jeff, how many employees initially is the company thinking of having?
Their largest shift's going to be at between 150 to 170 employees.
So they're starting out with, let's say at maximum 170, and they're providing 272. So they've got 100 more spaces right now that they need for their employees.
this is not something that's going to have a lot of public people coming in there.
Right, right. So they're 100 spaces over what they need for their employees when they open their doors.
Yeah, but we're still talking almost 50%. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, the land banking, it's not like the space is lost. It's there if needed, and based upon the numbers that we just heard, it makes no sense to pave land that's going to be empty parking for a long, long time. Let's start it out and keep it green as long as possible. Convert it to parking if and whenever needed.
The maintenance, if it's not driven on, pretty soon you start having weeds coming through.
So the ordinance requirement for parking is based on square foot and usage?
It is. It's rather antiquated, and it was based upon, it's based upon two things. One is office space, which requires, because of the employees, more parking, and then the warehouse square footage. Today's industrial buildings that are getting built typically have a lot of robotics in them. They don't need as many employees, and therefore they don't need as much parking. That's what we're hearing at the staff level. Jeff, am I correct on that?
Yeah, you're very correct on that.
So our ordinance is, like I said, somewhat antiquated and is based on square footage and not necessarily the actual use that's going in. And the number of employees today that are required in a 400,000 square foot building are quite different than what they used to be.
Possibly we should address that in the ordinance.
That's one of our chapters that we would like to amend, yes. And it's e-commerce is changing, warehousing is changing completely. So and we see that, and that's what staff is wanting to take a look at in our zoning parking requirements.
We can put something in there to stipulate that the number of parking spaces will be added on if the number of employees goes up. I would like to see that.
Okay, absolutely.
Which is in that agreement that the land making
That's all part of that land bank parking agreement that gets recorded, and that's why we do it, so that the village is covered and has a backup for if we see any kind of issue with parking. And I can tell you that we've had, I think, 2 other land bank parking agreements, and those facilities have never had a problem with parking to this date.
Okay.
That makes sense then. Any other discussion? Okay, please call the roll.
George Cosio,
Yes.
Joe Bano,
Yes?
Bob Picaro,
Yes?
Yes.
Mike Weirden,
Okay.
Okay, we shall pass on a positive recommendation to the village board. Good luck.
Yeah.
Business, so we need to discuss.
We need to discuss our next meeting date, which is July 4th, and I don't think any of us are going to be here.
No, we don't want to miss the fireworks.
That's right.
We have enough fireworks at the meeting.
That's right. So you have calendars in front of you there. When would you guys like to meet? What days look good? I was going to suggest the 3rd. Are you here the 3rd? Okay.
The second, we meet the same night as the plan commission. Once before we met upstairs.
That is putting us a little bit behind for getting these variations pushed onto the village board. the next meeting, on the 16th. We're trying to get them on to the 16th, so what if everybody else can make it on the 3rd and Mike can't?
Monday or Tuesday, the 1st or the 2nd?
Tuesday we can't because of the board.
Monday, we could do Monday the 1st. Joe's giving me the, Joe's going,
I'm okay with pretty much anything.
Are you? Okay. George is, okay. Mike, what about you?
Yeah, Monday the 1st?
Bob? He's checking his calendar.
Yeah, either would work, the first would work.
We would love the 1st. That'd really help us out.
Okay.
Could we do the
July
1st?
1st.
Okay. All right.
Good.
Are we going to meet the deadline on that? Let's see, for the post. Let's see. Have to get stuff out on the 14th. Okay. We can do it.
By next,
Yeah.
You're anticipating 2 things on the agenda?
We've already got them in. Yep.
we're busy.
Very busy. Yes.
So the Bannerman thing, that's just Plan Commission, or is that?
It's just Plan Commission's outdoor seating area. So that's a special use permit at the Plan Commission.
And Bartlett Tap is just Plan Commission?
Yes, that is indoor live entertainment. And if you haven't been to the Bartlett Tap, it's really nice in there, and the food is good.
We were there on a Wednesday night a couple weeks ago, and the place was hopping, so,
Yeah, he's doing
Did you
great.
like it?
yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we liked it too, yes. Yeah.
Anything else going on?
That's it. We're very excited about this project, Oak. And it's our first proposal for Cook County, which helps the TIF tremendously. So,
What caused them to go to Cook County?
land. There's not much land. If you look on the map, well, this doesn't cover the whole park, but this is the last of the TIF and the Brewster Creek Business Park. This is the last large parcels left. And what we're seeing in the trend and character of industrial buildings is all big buildings, because it's all e-commerce, and it's all about getting that product to the last mile. It's the last mile of delivery. That's what everyone is focusing on right now, and that's the trend. And we don't see, Jeff that was here, they have a couple small parcels left in the business park to develop, and they're not getting anyone looking at those, because all they can build is maybe a 30,000 square foot building or a 50,000, and no one is looking at that. They all want big, because it's all warehouse. It's all storage, racking systems in here, and get it to the customer fast.
So the other two lots, most of the upper right-hand corner, the slide you were just on,
Yeah, that's the wetland.
yeah, so that won't be developed, obviously.
No, this is a site now here, and this is another site. I've heard a rumor on that one. That's all I can say.
So both of those lots would accommodate a very large building like this one.
Yes, yes.
When are they gonna take the barriers down at Spitzer?
As soon as, I want to say it's the sewer we're waiting on, along the Spitzer. And we've got to get Jack Court built. So I think once that is almost completed, we'll open up Spitzer. It's coming. So, and it's all part of this, too. So,
Curiosity question on the two buildings that were just recently approved on Munger Avenue, Munger Road. Do you envision then that, with the idea of what businesses want, do you envision a single company in each of those buildings?
I do,
Wow.
yep. And I think they do, too. That is what is driving the whole industrial field right now.
You drive along 55 south, like Bolingbrook, and 355 beyond 55. I mean, it's just all humongous buildings.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
all that's going in there,
Yep.
one right after the
And
other.
right up to and right up to 55, like, right in their face, yeah.
Right.
yeah. I know, it's crazy. It's good for Bartlett. It's very good.
Kind of secluded there, they probably like that, it's easier for security.
Yeah. And this is a high-security place.
So that Jack Court Road, would that go completely across, east to west, or is it,
Yep, it's going to go here, and then the bubble's going to be like right here.
so it would stop?
Yeah, it's
Because
not gonna go all the way
it doesn't
over.
go all the way across.
It's not
No,
planning to go all the way.
no, we asked that. Jeff Brown, who's the president of Elmer Chicago Stone, we said, why don't you want to take it all the way over to Munger? And there's a grade difference here. It comes it peaks about right here, and then it comes down. And cars coming through here, they just did not want to take that all the way through. It could happen someday, but I think it's a grading issue and what's the terminology I'm looking for? A safety hazard with people pulling out of there too, with oncoming cars and the view, being able to see, the visibility, being able to see clearly. So it could happen someday, but right now they're not proposing that.
And Triumph built another building in the business park there.
They've built quite a few, and they are the contract builder for the two buildings that were just before the board 2 weeks ago. Those ones on Stearns and Munger, they're building those too. They are very busy.
They like Bartlett. Very good. Anything else? Entertain a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been moved, all,
Second?
it's moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Bob was second?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Joe.
Joe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.